For all the latest reviews, interviews, and everything entertainment in Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, and Telugu, subscribe to Film Companion South now.
Hi, Darbuka Siva. Welcome to
Hello.
Film Companion South.
Thank you.
There is this thing that you always wanted to be a musician, but apparently somewhere you also wanted to become a director. So, director ஆகணுங்கிறதுக்காக கதை தேடி போனீங்களா இல்லை இந்த கதையை டைரக்ட் பண்ணணுங்கிறதுக்காக டைரக்டர் ஆனீங்களா?
இல்லை ஆக்சுவலாக ரெண்டுமே இல்லை, டு பி ரியலி ஆனஸ்ட். அண்ட் this has been like my story of my life where I constantly keep drifting, and I always feel, oh, this is my home, I've reached. அப்படின்னா டக்குன்னு உடனே எனக்கு இங்கே போகலாமே அப்படின்னு ஒன்று தோணும். It's been a constant for me.
Right.
Music is something சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே பாட்டெலாம் கேட்டு லைக் டீச்சர்லாம் எதுவும் இல்லை, நானே பெஞ்சில் தாளம் போட்டு அப்படி தான் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வந்தது. So music always were there, and I think subconsciously films are always there. And நம்மளுக்கு எனக்கு அது ரியலைஸ் ஆகலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், because it was there all around, like when I grew up.
Yeah,
like all the films, நம்ம எல்லாருக்குமே இங்கே it was also there. But because I became a professional musician, I just completely cut out that other side of me, and I was an independent musician, played with lots of bands, traveled எல்லாம். After like 10 years of touring and all that, I felt a certain kind of discomfort in my head. Like I was doing all the things that I want to do, ஆனாலும் there was some discomfort. Like it was like ஏதோ ஒரு maybe this doesn't feel complete ன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபீலிங் எப்பவுமே இருந்தது எனக்கு. ஸோ அந்த டைமில் I made like gut instinctல சும்மா ஒரு விம்ல பெரிய அப்படியே ராக் ஸ்டார் மாதிரி ஃபீல் பண்ணணும் என்ன தெரியல. That's it, I want to take a break from everything for a year when everything was going brilliant for me.
Right.
I built something that from scratch. அப்படியே திடீர்னு
இது வந்து ஆஃப்டர் கிடாரி and all.
இல்லை பிஃபோர் தட்.
Okay, before that.
This is like in 2013. திடீர்னு like I was like ஒரு zen mode மாதிரி சம்மந்தமே இல்லாமல் எங்கேயோ வந்து I was like I just want to take a break அப்படின்ற மாதிரி.
But this was after your band phase.
Yeah, after all that.
Yeah.
So that 1 year I think was great, because like people always say, you always like it's good to have like time to stop and think of what's going on, like you're so busy in the mari zone la. And the 1 year la I think I discovered so much about what I really wanted to do, and like what gives me that fulfillment ன்ற மேட்டர் எனக்கு அப்போ தான் புரிஞ்சுது. அது வரைக்கும் I was so busy building all the things I was building. So அந்த டைமில் தான் 2013 I wrote the script, but parallel I think films have always been very close to me, and இப்போ தான் அதெல்லாம் ரெட்ரோஸ்பெக்ஷனில் தான் எனக்கு புரியுது like how I was fascinated with this whole medium of films. And இப்போ I feel like என்னுடைய சென்சிபிலிட்டிஸ்க்கு film is the most complete medium for me. எனக்கு இப்போ தான் புரியுது actually.
Right. See, I've always been confused by this, and so just explain it to me a bit. I'm taking a sabbatical, I'm taking 1 year off, and then I realized I discovered myself. Like I'm going to really like withdraw from the world for a bit, and then நான் அப்படியே இருந்து ஒரு I'm going to attain my nirvana kind of a thing. அது என்னது just doing nothing. Are you just watching TV one day with your remote and suddenly like bishum.
See, I didn't add one detail to this whole thing. Like I didn't want to make it sound like I was preparing for this or I had this thing. See, there were a lot of things that were happening around me.
Like you took a break.
Yeah, and it was like என்னன்னா a lot of things kind of were going around me, and some of it like in the almost in the brim of like kind of breaking down ன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு situation create ஆச்சு. This is not like
this is professional stuff.
Professional stuff. So அந்த டைம்ல it was almost like I had to take a break ன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு situation. For me it wasn't like நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி actually இல்ல. It wasn't like okay
like a sabbatical.
அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல. In fact it wasn't even a sabbatical. Like in fact I did most of my work in that 1 year actually. But என்னன்னா I was so busy building all these like music bands and the விஷயத்துலலாம் I wasn't even taking time to like stop and think, is this what that really gives me happiness and fulfillment in terms of நான் என்ன பண்றேன்ட்டு. So அந்த டைம்ல it was almost like I was forced to take a break, but also I think that's what I wanted, and I didn't know that ன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு situation வச்சிங்களா.
But tell me one thing, work is work, right? There are many people who work without finding these two things, happiness and fulfillment, right? Because for them work is a paycheck at the end of the month, or in the case of films at the end of a project or whatever it is. But are you one of those people for whom that's very important? Happiness and fulfillment?
Definitely.
Just a big paycheck is not enough.
Definitely not. And see, ஓரளவுக்கு of course we all have our aesthetics of paying bills. That's part of our lives. ஆனால் எனக்கு that's where the buck stops. If I'm fine, if I have a decent car to drive around, if I have a house to live, and if I have a small place to sit and make music and watch films, I think it stops there. அதுக்கு மேலே எல்லாமே எனக்கு it's like an added bonus, and that might not bring too much happiness for me than creating something which absolutely excites me, and also the process பயங்கரமாக என்ஜாய் பண்ணுற ஒரு டைம்.
Okay.
And when I finish it and like when I watch it, if it fascinates me, or if I hear it, if it's music, I think honesta and the high I don't get out of anything else.
Right. So basically you're saying that you'd rather make a Maruarte than buy a Rolls Royce.
Definitely. Any day.
Okay.
Any day.
Okay. So Mudhal Nee Mudivum Nee, that's the name of your first film, school days film. I've seen a rough cut of this film,
Yeah,
which you showed me.
Yeah, the first cut.
So it's a school film and nostalgia film. Are you one of those nostalgia people? Because I know two types of people. One kind, they like to live in the past. It's like everything golden. எல்லாம் அந்த காலத்துல பாத்தியா அந்த காலத்துல எல்லாமே was so good அந்த காலத்துல. And then there are other people who are like very like they look forward to the future. They're like I mean all that is past but it's gone. I need to look at what goes ahead. நீங்க எந்த மாதிரி டைப்?
I'm the second one.
Okay.
In fact, like Mudhal Nee Mudivum Nee is about school, nostalgia and all that. But if someone asks me, would you love to go there? No, I don't want to go there. I love here because I'm in a better mental state right now.
Than you were at school?
I think I have a better hang of who I am now than back then there. And also, I'm not this person like on the golden age thinking. I'm not that person.
Okay.
I love a lot of things from the past. I love a lot of things from now. Like I love the time I spent with my friends doing nothing. I still love my iMac and I still love my phone right now. எனக்கு வந்து I like the balance of that and this. அது எனக்கு இப்போ இருக்கு. And also I'm super excited about what's coming ahead for me.
Okay.
And I've always been. And I always think that I'm going to do something like super exciting. இனிமே தான் அதை நான் பண்ண போகிறேன். இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பண்ணது ஓகே, ஓரளவுக்கு அது ஓகே, பட் இன்னும் some exciting மேட்டர்லாம் இனிமே தான் இருக்குன்றது தான் I believe.
Nice. Music is also an art form, cinema is also an art form, directing is also an art form. So in the art form and the art form ku leap edukradhu, how difficult was it or how easy was it?
I see it as two things for me. எனக்கு filmmaking la I think I approach writing like I approach music. adula எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு I can't think of a huge difference. When I sit down to make a song, I just zone out. Sometimes I can even feel that I've zoned out. Whenever
you're like trance state kind of thing.
I don't know. I don't want to make it sound very meditative. எனக்கு என்னன்னா, when I don't understand or when I'm not sure how much time has passed when I'm sitting in my studio, that means I've kind of zoned out.
Right.
அது எனக்கு நடக்கும் மியூசிக் பண்ணும்போது. Like sometimes I just go in because I don't have a clock in my studio. So நான் உள்ள போனேன்னா நான் பாட்டு எதனா பண்ணின்னு இருப்பேன். Sometimes I clearly know how much time has passed. Still time I have no clue. 3 hours ஆயிருக்கும், but there's no way that can be 3 hours னு எனக்கு நல்லா தெரியும். So that is the time I feel like, oh, I've gone into that space னு எனக்கு அப்போ தெரியும். So that happens. And also I realize that happens in writing also sometimes for me. எழுதும் போதும் எனக்கு sometimes அது ஆகும். So when I'm writing and making music, the similar approach, but filmmaking execution அப்படின்ற விஷயத்தில் I'm very very practical. Like I just keep my zoned out அதெல்லாம் தனியாக வச்சுட்டு I think like super rational and like பயங்கர logic oriented நான் think பண்ணுவேன். I have these two switches that I'm very like comfortable switching between these two.
Okay. நீங்கள் ரொம்ப ப்ரைவேட் பர்சன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன். இந்த ப்ரொஃபஷனில் வந்தப்புறம் ப்ரைவசிங்கிறது மெயின்டைன் பண்ண முடியுமா? Can you afford to do that?
கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் தான்.
You're a private person.
Yeah, you can call me a private person, but there is a lot of I don't know when like it's also misconstrued a lot. Like people like confuse like, oh, our ரொம்ப private, and like people tell me like, oh, I'm not very social, but I'm not like anti-social or anything. I like to like talk to people and all that. But when it comes to my family and all those things, like I usually try to, I think அப்படி யோசிக்கும் போது like a doctor or an engineer doesn't have to kind of include their families and what they do in their life. அந்த விதத்தில் நான் I see cinema as அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷன் தான்.
Right.
I don't need to kind
So
of
I shouldn't
include
ask
all
you
this.
questions like, do you have a puppy and all that?
அதெல்லாம் okay. See, I don't mind talking about my family or what I do in my life and all that. It's not like அந்த அளவுக்கு privacyலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை. I don't want to make that as one more marketing campaign for
Right.
my profession or in any way.
Right. You want your work to speak for itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So நீங்க நிறைய படங்கள் பார்ப்பீங்களா? Like is it just like சில பேருக்கு வந்து ஒரு வெரி மாதிரி it will be there, you know. I had that. I would like literally like ஏதாவது ரிலீஸ் ஆனா I had to go see it. I could not like not see it, you know. Whereas other people வந்து they'll just say, oh, I'm a little bored today, I'll go and watch a film. So like what were you?
இதுலேயும் I feel like I have like two phases. வளர்ந்த டைமில் தான் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் there were films all around and theatres and like about 8th standard 9th standard தனியாக ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட படம் பார்க்குற ஃபேஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சு. அந்த டைமில் கம்ப்ளீட்லி பியர் ப்ரெஷர் வாட் எவர் ஃபில்ம்ஸ் மெஜாரிட்டியாக இந்த படத்துக்கு போகலாம் அப்படின்னா சம்டைம்ஸ் யூ டோன்ட் கெட் டிக்கெட்ஸ் அந்த டைமில் இந்த படத்துக்குன்னு போவோம். ஐ ஸ்டில் ரிமெம்பர் லைக் அந்த டைமில் 9th 10th ஐ திங்க் குருதி புனல் கேம் அந்த டைம் வி வாண்ட் டு சி குருதி புனல். வி வென்ட் 3 times போனோம். 3 வாட்டியும் கிடைக்காம ஏதோ தெலுங்கு டப்பிங் படம் பார்த்தோம். ஸோ ஒன்லி வி காட் டு see it only after like 6 months or something அந்த டைமில். ஸோ மோஸ்ட்லி அந்த மாதிரி தான் அந்த டைமில். till about college it was like that. I saw every film that came out of theatres. ஏன்னா அந்த டைமில் I never went to college. டெய்லி தியேட்டருக்கு போகிறது தான் வேலை. சத்யம் தியேட்டர் பக்கத்துலேயே அந்த டைம்லலாம். ஸோ எவ்ரிடே எதனா ஒரு படம் லேண்ட்மார்க் மியூசிக் வேர்ல்டில் போய் பாட்டு கேட்குறது இது 2 தான் வேலை. But somewhere after college, I just drifted away from films, especially inge padam paakadhu. I just drifted completely off from it.
Okay.
And you won't believe for the last 20 years I've not seen that many films from here. Correct or 2005-6 I discovered foreign language films and I just went crazy from that point.
Aladhaan.
I just went crazy and also it was parallel with my music. In music I started listening to a lot of world music like
okay.
African music, South American music. எனக்கு music கற்றுக்கினா I don't learn it like if I'm trying to figure out South American music, it's not like learning like 2-3 techniques. I learn it as a language.
Right.
So okay, what will their films be like? Okay, so what is their culture like? So what is their politics like? அப்படி பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சு I started like finding out names and all that. Back then there wasn't too many avenues to find about these
right.
sort of films.
Right.
2005-6 அப்போ திடீர்னு இந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வந்தது. I started watching all kinds of films and I discovered all the big names that we talk about now like Tarkovsky, Bergman, Fellini and the usual Fassbender. I just went mad from that point and till today I just keep digging like what kind of foreign language films பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு. And I don't want to say it in a very pompous way or something.
No, it's not.
I feel like I want to. Okay, I've seen 20 years of films made here, and I saw some mind-blowing films in the first 20 years of my life. Those are still some of the best films that I've seen so far. இப்போ அந்த மாதிரி வரலன்னு நான் சொல்ல. Maybe my time is over. I've kind of branched out and I want to learn. I want to watch a film from Peru. Like what is their culture?
Right.
What's happening? What's their story? இப்போ எனக்கு அது ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரிகிங்காக இருக்குது. I want to learn more about other cultures.
If I was saying like name 5 filmmakers who really influenced you, who would you say?
Woody Allen definitely.
Okay.
Mike Lee, Fellini, Bergman and Ken Loach maybe. Whenever I watch their films, I feel like this guy knows my head and he just makes films for me. அப்படின்னு எனக்கு தோணும் பார்க்கும்போது.
So when you made your film, when you're explaining things to, let's say, your cinematographer, everybody else, the actors, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இந்த ஃபிலிம்ஸ் ஓடிட்டு இருக்குமா பின்னாடி ஒரு இது மாதிரி ஒரு ரெஃபரன்ஸ் பாயிண்ட் மாதிரி இல்லை would you just switch that off because you seem to have a lot of switches and did you just switch off everything and say I'm just going to go with what's organic here அந்த மாதிரி?
In fact, I try to do that. I try to go with what's organic there because என்னை பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் என்னன்னா all these guys I think they've just stuck to their identities. I don't know, I'm sure they have their own influences
yeah,
on
sure.
that but I believe that from whatever I've seen them talk about or from whatever the films that I've seen and how they dissect their process and all that, my take back is they just have so much conviction with their identity and how they see the world and what they want to put out.
Yeah.
Of course, they have their own like brickbats and all that happening. I don't think they seem to like care much about it.
Yeah. So
In a way, so that's my take back. So I think my identity is going to be my strong point. Is it going to be a great thing? Am I going to make great films or not? I'm not sure. But I think my identity is what is going to make my work maybe even stand out, or however you call it.
so this is not a one-off. You're going to make a few films.
I'd love to, because I enjoy the process.
Okay.
And நீங்க சொன்ன இன்னொரு விஷயம், I want to add that I derive a lot of things from these guys. Like in terms of, I like how Woody Allen goes about writing stuff. I love how he enjoys just writing.
That conversational style.
Yeah. I love that, and I think அதோட influence கொஞ்சம் இருக்கு. And I love Mike Leigh's process of how he works with actors. I work with actors very similarly, and நான் even before I started digging into his style, that was all என்னோட approach அதான் இருந்தது, because I come from this whole band scene and all that. I love to rehearse. I love to have this emotional dialogues even before I like to test people's like mental I like to tickle their emotional points. Like எனக்கு அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும், to see how they react when you add something that actually bothers them in their real life. If I just add a detail of that in the film, what does that does to that person? எனக்கு அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். I like those experiments.
Nice.
I stole that from Mike Leigh. So இந்த மாதிரி கொஞ்சம்
You've decided you're going to make films. What you're really saying is, in the padam paatha, I somehow will get an idea of Darbuka Siva.
My zone in 2013 maybe. No.
That's the year you took your break, kind of thing.
Ama.
Okay.
So I wrote this in 2013. Like, see, while I was driving here, I was just thinking, what am I going to talk about this film? Like, maybe now the things that I want to write about is very different, because my state of mind is very different right now. If in 2013 maybe that's the zone I was in at that point.
Yeah, but I like one word that you used, restless. I think that may be your identity. The fact that you're trying to find something with every film, I don't know. அது future படம் பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும். But anyway, all the best for Mudhal Nee Mudivum Nee, and I hope it does well, and thanks for this interview.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you. Hi, this is Darbuka Siva, director of Mudhal Nee Mudivum Nee. If you like this interview, please subscribe to Film Companion South. Thank you so much.